Good morning. My name is Sean Shapiro, and this is Ask a Traffic Cop, where you can come and, ask your questions about traffic and policing, and then have the questions answered right here, live on the internet. Where are we currently broadcasting? Well, we're on Instagram Live, we're on TikTok Live, we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn. We're pretty much everywhere that you are, and the reason we're here is to speak to you. We're here to help. This is like tech support for traffic laws. That's what we are. People who don't understand the laws come here, and we dispel the myths, the rumors, the mix-ups. A lot of people don't understand how they apply certain laws, and we hope to fix that, to make life easier for you, because ultimately there are two goals. The biggest one is make sure that you get to where you're going safe and sound every day. It's about safety beyond everything else. All the laws that we talk about, or at least the majority of them, are focused on safety. That's the root of them. There's other things. It's also talking about not blasting your stereo and your exhaust, because it makes life less wonderful for everybody around you. But that's not a safety thing. We acknowledge that. It's something else. But it's still valid. And then there's a secondary thing. We don't want you getting tickets for no reason. Like, maybe you don't know that it's against the law. So we want to make sure that if you're going to choose to break the law, at least you're breaking the law knowingly. That's not a good thing. But at least you know. It's the I didn't know, and then you get stuck with $100 or $200 or $500 fine. So people who are visiting Ontario love this channel because they don't know what the laws are here. Laws are different everywhere. So it's all about keeping everybody educated. Okay, we have some... TJ from Facebook has a question. I'm going to get to it in just a second. Before I do that, I want to start off with the Vision Zero enforcement team. We talk about it every day because every day the fine folks from this team go to a different area. And I want to tell you where they are today and what they do. So if you don't know what the Vision Zero enforcement team is, they are a dedicated group of enforcement officers. They do nothing but enforcement. They do not respond to calls for service, for crashes, and to write reports. They go out and change driver behavior one ticket at a time. No hugs are offered. They go and issue tickets. And today, they are in 32 Division and 53 Division. That doesn't necessarily mean a lot to anybody. It's the divisions is based on policing grids in the city, and it's all divided in responsibility. But what do those neighborhoods really look like? Let me tell you, those neighborhoods, or some of the neighborhoods within those divisions, are Downsview, Willowdale, Newtonbrook, Bathurst Manor, Lawrence Park, Yonge and Eglinton, Rosedale, Leaside. They're Toronto. And if we're in your neighborhood and you want to meet us, well, better yet, if you don't want to meet us, don't break the law, because they are out there looking for the folks who choose to speed, drive aggressively, drive distracted, and drive impaired. They are, again, trying to make the roads safer for everybody, especially vulnerable road users. But it's all together. It's all one big picture. Okay, with Vision Zero covered, what else can I talk about? Okay, let's start by this. Want to win a Harley Davidson? I'm going to start with something that's really important, and something that's going to be going on today. It's related to something going on this afternoon. This is the Torch Run is going on today. That's in support of Special Olympics. So why do I bring up a motorcycle and our Harley raffle? Because we're raising money for Special Olympics Ontario. We're doing that through harleyraffle.ca. So if you want to win a Harley, you don't have to ride a Harley. You can sell a Harley after you win it. But if you want a chance to win it, go to www.harleyraffle.ca. Tickets are 1 for 20 and 3 for 50. Hey, you get a what is it called? A discount for quantity. Can't go wrong there. Okay. Lots of questions coming in. If you are asking questions on Instagram, please use the Q&A function. It actually works. If you're on TikTok, it's currently broken, so I'm doing my best to go through the chat. But it's a little slower process. We don't have the ability of putting questions up on the screen. If you come over to our Twitch or YouTube pages or LinkedIn, even Facebook, you'll get into a different window, because we're simultaneously broadcasting on all these different platforms. Also, what do you think of the music? What do you think about having background music? Is this annoying yet? I can't decide. I'm putting a poll up on the screen. If you put a happy face, you're voting yes, the music is good. If you are doing the cry face, the music is bad. Let me know. So far, overwhelming. It's tied. Okay. We'll come back to what the results are. But let me know, because I will turn off the music if it's hated. I will change the music if it's just the wrong type of music. And we can try things. This is currently set to background music lounge. But what's lo-fi? Okay, let's try lo-fi. Maybe lo-fi is the way to go. Maybe I just turn it down a little bit and we could be good. All right. I don't want to spend too much time on music, but I do want to make sure there's a little bit of chill going on as we do what we do. Okay, TJ Anderson says, or asks, please explain the rules around motorized modes of transportation with pedals, electric, gas, from modified bicycles up to just before motorcycles. At what point, if any, do you require a license and plates? Where can you use them? Parks, multi-use pathways, bike lanes? It's a fantastic question. And we've been talking about this. Yesterday, I posted a video discussing speed limits and can they be enforced on bicycles. The short answer is on a highway, which is a road or basically regulated street or expressway, you cannot be charged for speeding on a bicycle. But in a park, you can be because there's bylaws. It's not speeding under the Highway Traffic Act. It's a bylaw in the city of Toronto, and every municipality is going to have different bylaws. But there is a 20 kilometer an hour speed limit for cycles, skateboarders, everybody, motorists included, in a park. Have to abide by it. So now we're talking about electric, gas, modified bicycles. Okay, e-bikes are motor vehicles. They are motor vehicles. However, there's legislation in place that if the e-bike or the motor vehicle that is powered by electricity conforms to the legislation, it has no more than a 500-watt motor, it is incapable of exceeding 32 kilometers an hour, it has the appropriate brakes and so on, is only operated by someone who's at least 16 years old and wearing a helmet, all those things. Then it's an e-bike and it is not classified or it's treated as a bicycle. So you don't have to have a license. You don't have to have a registration or license plate. You don't have to have insurance. However, if it's modified or it was designed specifically to exceed 32 kilometers an hour, or you modify one that's regulated or governed to not go over 32, but you pull a wire and suddenly it's doing 50, that is instantly a motorcycle. It requires license ownership and insurance. The license required is a motorcycle license. So this is something that many people don't understand. They're modifying these bikes. I have seen many of these on the road doing 60 and 70 kilometers an hour up a hill. These are powerful machines. And they are motor vehicles, so don't be mistaken. Just because it looks like a bicycle, just because it looks like an e-bike, it may no longer be classified as one. And if you are stopped and charged specifically as a rider of one that's illegal, you're going to be charged for offenses, and with the insurance alone, it comes with a $5,000 to $25,000 first-time offense range of fine, up to 6 months in jail as well. In terms of where can they be used, well, once they're violating, you can't be used anywhere except private property. You cannot put an illegal e-bike on the road, and you can't license it as a motorcycle either. You have to buy one that's passed the Transport Canada approval process and has all the safety checks to say it's good to go. Now, you also asked about gas. There is a misconception that if you have a converted bicycle with a gas engine that's under 49 or under 50 cc, that it's okay. Let me just clear the air. It's not okay. It is a motorcycle. E-bike legislation does not extend to gas-powered vehicles. So a bicycle with a gas-powered engine is a motor vehicle. It is a motorcycle. And just because it's under 50 cc would put it into a category of moped, but that would require a minimum of a low-power, low-speed motorcycle license. You could ride it with a motorcycle license or one that has a designation for low speed only. So things to take into consideration. That's not going to be legal anywhere. I see them on the road too, and many people don't realize that they're illegal. They get on the road and they're going to do something that either gets them really, really hurt or is going to be really expensive. And the whole goal of saving money will be out the window when they get charged with serious offenses. Okay. I think I've covered all your questions out of there. That was a good one to start the day, TJ. In terms of use, e-bikes can be used pretty much anywhere that you can use a bicycle, except parks. You cannot use them under power. E-bikes and no gas-powered bicycles, because they can't be used anywhere except private property. But e-bikes can't be used in parks under power unless they're pedelec, ones that require pedaling. There's so many caveats, little tidbits of things. Okay. What do we have here? Okay, if a person is driving with a suspended license, will it be picked up by the license plate readers in cruisers? Bob, good question. And Bob is coming by through Facebook. So the question is, will we know? Well, if we're running your plate and you're the registered owner, yes, we will. We'll see that. We'll see it flagged. Okay, this is, I see YYZ popped in with a good morning. How's it going? I'm just scrolling back because I'm going to do this. Is this the joy of Q&A being broken? Someone mentioned earlier that Q&A is not working. We are so aware of this. Unfortunately, TikTok has broken it, and it's been about a month. When I went to, I think it's because I went to Florida. They got upset with me because I went to Florida, and they broke it for everybody. I'm sorry. Okay. Nigel, what's going on, brother? Okay. Can you use, oh, here we go. Chasey says, morning, can you use a phone at a traffic stop since it's not a legal spot? So this is a situation where you've been pulled over by police, and technically speaking, you're not in a legal spot. So technically, you're now you're not parked legally. So technically, the law would apply. But I would say I would ask the officer if you can use it. I mean, technically, I'm not gonna. I wouldn't charge you for pulling your phone out when I've just stopped you, especially if you need to get information from it. That's not something I've never even thought this way, but I guess technically the law says you can't. But I don't think you'd have a problem. Again, we've stopped you. Now, if you pull over to the side of the road because you want to make a phone call, that's not okay. You'd have to be somewhere that you could legally park, and the side of the road isn't it. Obviously, if you're pulling over to the side of the road because your car is broken down, it's for emergency purposes. You're calling to get a tow for safety. And if you're calling 911, you can certainly use it. Nigel says, can you drive around with a copy of your driver's license and ownership instead of your actual stuff due to the increase in carjackings? Okay. Driver's license must be your actual driver's license. You can't have a copy. You can't have a photocopy. You can't use a photo of your driver's license in your phone. Not legal. The actual card is required. If you are traveling with your ownership, or in regards to the ownership side of it, you can have a photocopy, which we refer to it as a true copy, front and back of a currently valid permit, is legal. Now, if you are worried about leaving it in your car, the original, I wouldn't leave any of them. I actually have my ownership and insurance in my back pocket with my driver's license all together in my wallet. I don't leave anything in the car because I don't want someone to know where I am. If they break into my car, suddenly they know where I live. And I have no intention of inviting them over. So that's a thing. Okay. Jeremy says, one of those electric unicycles nearly ran into me doing about 80 kilometers an hour on Strawn near Lakeshore. It seems that the police in Toronto are doing nothing to stop electric skateboards, unicycles, or stand-up e-scooters. If this person crashed into me or hit a pedestrian, he could have killed someone. In this case, how do I complain to the police? So this is a really valid and topical question. It's a topic that's good to talk about. What's the deal? You covered a bunch of different things. So that stand-up unicycle, absolutely prohibited for use on the road, not legal. We see them, we see them, and they should be stopped, and they should be charged under the bylaw. They're prohibited from the road. They're motor vehicles, and we could charge them under that section as well. And we should see more of those people. There's an education phase that we've been trying to get the word out, but at the end of the day, that's not it's not a permissible vehicle, and they should be charged. In terms of the stand-up e-kick scooters, there is a provincial pilot in place. So if a municipality has opted in, then they would allow it in their municipality. Toronto is not one of those, and they are not legal here, along with electric skateboards and so on. All of those are prohibited. If they hit a pedestrian, they can do some really serious damage, and they're not insured. So it would be a civil situation. They can be charged by police, but ultimately, that's a serious concern for the pedestrian who is victimized by someone who crashes into them. It's the same as if a cyclist crashes into a pedestrian. Now it's a civil litigation thing. You'd have to sue the cyclist, or you sue the person on a scooter because there's no mechanism. You might be able to get coverage under your own personal insurance if you own a vehicle, but that doesn't cover everybody. So it's an interesting situation, and speaking to your MP to voice your concerns, speaking to the mayor, speaking to the police, you can make reports on our website, www.torontopolice.on.ca/CORE, CORE, and you can certainly make neighborhood complaints. Say you're seeing a lot of these in your neighborhood, and you want some enforcement done. And these are real reports. They get assigned to police officers, and the more we get, the more we are able to justify more attention to them, because they're all serious. But one here and there is different than thousands. We hear from thousands of people about loud exhausts. That's why we hear and have so much attention focused on that as offense. It's illegal, but it's because people are really upset about it that it's more urgently responded to. But I totally see the need to enforce all these electric vehicles. And, it's not that we don't want to promote good ways of commuting, good ways of being green, and electric vehicles are great, but they have to be safe. And I recently saw a video from somebody who was involved in a motor vehicle collision. They were struck by a car. They were involved in a collision. I don't want to say they were struck. They did meet in the middle. And what was most interesting by this video is that the person on the one wheel, the electric unicycle, which was traveling at traffic speed, was unable to stop, swerve, control. It's a unicycle. You don't have the ability to make effective maneuvers to evade a vehicle that was turning in front of them. So the person turning, obviously responsible, but now you have a situation where they're turning, but the person it's very bad. It was one of those things where you go, because you saw what happened and the legs went, and it was just really bad. Okay. Oh my God, I love the BG music. Big Jeff Fresh is enjoying the background music. That's awesome. Okay, Chris. Actually, I want to jump over here because I've been ignoring TikTok. I'm sorry, TikTok. We've got questions coming in from everywhere. And without Q&A functioning, just throwing some shade back at TikTok for breaking everything. It makes it a little more difficult to navigate and get your questions answered. So my apologies. If you are new to the channel, please follow us. We are actually at 575,004. That's how many followers we have, which is amazing because we all started with one. And thank you to everyone who does follow us and is part of our community and comes and joins us every day. Love you. Thank you. Really appreciate the support. We are just trying to keep people safe. And Drew says, hey, what's up? What's up, Drew? Okay. Okay, we're going to talk about, Keith wants to know about, it's King, not Keith. Yeah, similar, Keith King, it's close. The question is, what are the requirements needed to be a cop? I'm going to talk about employment in just a minute. Let me scroll through to some stuff that we've maybe not seen recently. And by the way, if you're watching on any platform, please share us. Please tweet about us. Please, Instagram about us. Please share the word. Tell more people about us, because the more the merrier. We are able to help more people if more people are here to help. That's all it is. And if you have a question, chances are about 50 people have the same question. Okay. Oh, here's a great question, and relevant to what we've been talking about recently. What is the fine for a license plate that has some of the letters or numbers peeled off? So similar to that of having a license plate cover on there, your license plate has to be legible. It has to be able to be read by anyone, including the police and scanners and the public, for various reasons. And you need to ensure that it's in good condition. You're responsible for maintaining it. And if it's something wrong with it, you need to replace it. The fine for not having it in good condition, whether it be dirty, covered, or not plainly legible, is going to be $110. Now, a lot of people choose not to put a front plate on. We talk about that all the time. So no front plate is also $110, failing to display a pair or both plates, two plates. But very often people don't correct that. And very often people don't correct the license plate being peeled. So you might get one ticket, you might get a few tickets. And eventually what will happen when we see that you're actively choosing not to get it repaired or replaced, is you could get a summons to court where you have to go and explain. You go into court. You can't just pay it and move on. You actually have to go to court. And if you don't get it fixed, they can increase the fines. They can do all sorts of things. But ultimately, if you choose to ignore it, it doesn't go away. It is a serious problem. Now, many plates in general are covered for 5 years under a warranty. And if you choose to take it in, if you're paying attention, take it in within 5 years or get it replaced. It's a defect if that happens. They should. Brian Thomas says, I got a question from TikTok. What's the question? Oh, here we go. Can a person get a DUI on a Lime scooter, kick scooter? Do we have Limes here? I didn't realize Lime had moved in. I thought that was a California thing. But the answer is, yeah, a kick scooter is a motor vehicle. So under the Criminal Code of Canada, anything other than muscular power is considered a motor vehicle, which is different than the Highway Traffic Act definition. Although there's been some changes there too, at least from my recent reading of something. In any case, yes, you can be charged. You can be arrested and criminally charged for impaired operation of an e-bike, of an electric, anything, but definitely a kick scooter, because that's going to be, that's even an acknowledged, defined thing. Electric skateboards are kind of in a weird place. They're still anything other than muscular, so I would say they're totally eligible. But e-kick scooters, absolutely. Okay, Nigel says, is there a noise law Or is that a bylaw for those sport mufflers that we have? What is this? I have 2 guys near where I live, and it's super annoying. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's super annoying everywhere. I have people in the neighborhood that I don't even know if they live in the neighborhood or if they just commute past it, but they do it really, really loudly when I'm trying to go to sleep. And I get up at 4 a.m. and although I was texting and tweeting last night at 10 at night, I try and go to bed earlier. So I hear it all through the night. People whizzing by with loud exhaust pipes. So and to say that it's a nighttime problem, it's not. It's a daytime problem too. And there's many people who work from home, work shift work that are trying to sleep during the day. It affects people. It is a major problem. So what is the law? The shorter answer is there's a law, a charge under the Highway Traffic Act called unnecessary noise, and that law isn't specific to a decibel rating. It is any noise that is unnecessary. So it's pretty open. Your horn, your stereo, your exhaust, anything that's unnecessary that isn't required to get you moving in a normal way. You can be charged. Now, obviously, most of those have mufflers that are either they don't muffle, they don't function as a muffler. They're straight pipes, they're fashion pipes. They don't function the way they're supposed to. Those are not mufflers or not proper mufflers, and you can be charged for that as well. So there's lots of different things that can happen. If the payment machine is broken, can I park for free? You know what? This is an Aaron Urquhart question. I don't think you can. I think you'd probably have to go to the next machine. And now there's an app, so there's really never an excuse not to pay. You just see the number on the sign and pay with GreenP. I would assume no. But Aaron would be the best person. And you can follow her at TPS_BikeHeart on TikTok or any platform. And Parking TPS also on any platform. I say any platform. Truly, it's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Can I speed on the highway is a question that I've answered many, many times. The highway is any road in Ontario. You're probably meaning the expressway, but the answer remains no. You're never allowed to exceed the speed limit. Just not legal. Not 1 kilometer over. Not legally anyway. People do it all the time. It's not a legit thing. It's an unsafe thing. It makes me think of the podcast that we recorded day before yesterday with my friend John, and we go into depth about speeding. He was involved in a collision and lost 3 of his friends because of speed. He also sustained burns to 3/4 of his body. So be on the lookout for that. If you don't already follow us, you can get us at TPS Traffic Jam anywhere podcasts are available, or the video version is also available on YouTube. Check out TPS Traffic Jam. I've just recorded episodes 7 and 8, but there are 6 episodes to start you off. Okay. Let's go and see what we got here. Can you go over school bus rules? Like if I'm approaching a school bus about a meter away, when it turns its headlights, do I slam on the brakes or go through? I'm a new driver. So that's from Gabby Rose. So we have 2 stages. School buses usually turn on. We're about to switch, and I don't know if it's coming out in September, if it's happened already, but we used to be red flashing, and then they'd come to a stop. But before they'd stop, they'd still have the lights active, and then they'd put the stop sign out after they'd come to a complete stop. If the bus is in motion, whether it be amber flashing or red flashing, if the bus is in motion, you can still pass them. If the bus with the red lights on alone is stopped, red flashing lights alone, or if the stop sign is out, you have to stop. You should be seeing this happen well in advance to be able to plan what's going to happen next. So if you're right behind a bus, and Jody, the bus driver, is in the live. Hi, Jody, how you doing? She says it changes in September. Awesome. Thank you for jumping in on that. The deal is that it is something that you have to do. You have to stop, and it doesn't matter if you're passing from the back or from the front oncoming. The only difference is whether or not it's a divided or undivided highway. If it's an undivided highway, meaning it's just a painted line between it, both directions have to stop. If it's divided by a barrier of grass or concrete, that would be a situation, or railing, that would be a situation where you don't have to stop if you're oncoming traffic. Again, divided, you don't have to stop in both directions. You just can't pass from the rear overtaking. And if it's undivided, just a line on the ground, then everybody stops. But you know what? These are good things. These are important to know. Something that many people don't realize is that police have to stop too. Police, fire, and ambulance, we have to stop for school buses too. Why? Because we're protecting the most vulnerable people on our planet, the most important are next generations to come, children. Gotta, I'm a dad. I care about kids. Even if you're not a dad, you should care about kids. Kids are awesome. What do we got here? The tunes are working. Hang on, let's throw the poll out here. So most people are liking the tunes. I just put a poll out there. Happy, sad, yay, nay. Okay, I gotta block somebody who wants to sell me followers. Okay. Why? What is this? Boom, boom, boom. Also, Brian Thomas, he's a police constable with the Toronto Police here at Traffic Services. YYZ.trafficpc is his handle. He's in here answering some questions too. So if you see YYZ Traffic PC, he is a police officer. There's a lot of conversation between them. I'm trying to follow along and not. I want new questions. Darn it. Okay. Oh, by the way, if you're new to us, if you've never seen us before, follow us. It's one of those things. If you follow us, you get to hear more about us, more from us, see more of our videos. We go live Monday to Friday from 10 to 11, and we are answering questions all the time. We also answer questions in the Q&A. I say we, it's me mostly. I'm in the chat morning, noon, and night, on duty, off duty, so I do my best to answer comments if you make them in our videos. It's just me, so it takes a while sometimes to get to everybody, but I do my very best. I can't guarantee that I'll get to everybody, but I do my best. Okay. Is it legal for a cop to park on the sidewalk or shoulders of the road to radar? Yes. Generally speaking, we don't block sidewalks, but we can place our vehicles in strategic places in order to conduct our job. Yes, it is. It is legal. How much is a fine for driving without insurance? Well, first offense, we'll start there. Actually, we'll just talk about first offense. On your first offense, there is a range, $5,000 to $25,000 and up to 6 months in jail for driving for no insurance. And here's a funny thing. We don't have to catch you doing it right now. We can catch you after the fact. So if you choose to do that, which is not smart, we have up to 3 years to lay that charge. So you may have gotten away with something. You may be happy, comfortable at home, not sweating, not worrying when the door is going to have a knock, not realizing that we can come to you up to 3 years later. So even if you exchange information and through a course of an investigation or something happens and we become aware of it, expect to get caught. Because we're good at that. We have people who specifically specialize in failed to remain collisions and drive no insurance collisions. Okay. Let's go back here. Got 3 different places to look for chat questions, so I want to make sure I get some stuff that we haven't talked about in a while. About to get my G1 soon. Any advice? Advice for G1 is read the book. There's not much to it. It's 40 questions, 20 are on signs, 20 are on rules of the road. Know them. Know it. Read the book. Read the book every day. Take it to the bathroom with you. You know that is the best place to study sometimes. And you have to. You just have to know those. Now, once you get that, make sure you know all the conditions. Don't break any rules. If you are driving with a G1 alone, that's a big deal. So you can't do that. You need to know what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. A G1 is just a learner's permit, requires the supervision of a qualified G. That's someone with 4 years experience. A full G, 4 years experience, that time starts when they got their G2. So they might be qualified even if they just got their G based on what their history was. Scotty says tax collectors. No, Scotty, we're safety promoters. We're safety educators. We care about the community because we're members of the community. We have friends and family that live and commute on the same roads as you. So when we enforce laws, it's because we are promoting safety. We're trying to change behavior one ticket at a time. I got tickets when I was a kid. I was 16. I ran a stop sign. I had a speeding ticket. I may have had one more, but I don't remember. At very least, I remember those 2, and those are the last 2 that I'm aware of getting a ticket because I changed my behavior. Those tickets were not fun. I didn't want any more. Bingo bango, I don't have any more tickets. It's just so simple. If you don't break the law, you don't get tickets. And the people who say tax collectors, well, that's just sad. That's trying to blame somebody else for them breaking the rules. Let's see here. What is it? I don't know what this is. Are those light bars that people put on the front of cars legal in New Jersey? I can't speak to law in New Jersey. I don't know what New Jersey state law says about those lights. But if you want to make sure you're conforming to the laws, check with your local police. That's the best deal. I don't believe they're on TikTok in New Jersey, but there might be. Check the law. Oh, somebody doesn't like the police. That's cute. I love it when people put they try and hurt my feelings. I'm a traffic person. I don't have any feelings. Okay. I say that with a joke or with a laugh. What was this? Chasey says to the person who is getting their G1, if you watch the show every day, you will pass your G1. Well, I can't guarantee that you're going to pass just by watching, but you're certainly going to get some good advice. You're going to have an opportunity to get your questions answered by a police officer weekdays from 10 to 11. So definitely. And if you have questions, you can DM me. It takes a long time to get the DM because I often have hundreds of them waiting, but I do my best to get to everybody. Good morning, Peterborough. Master Technician's back in the house, and Master Technician and I were having a great conversation in the DMs yesterday because we talked about, can you cut the roof off your car? And I don't recall if it was who asked the question. However, I had said that I don't think that you can just cut it off and it would meet the safety. I don't think you can just cut your roof off. And he sent me a video and links to some information about folks who are cutting the roofs off of Dodge Chargers, but they're getting it done by a professional company. They're reinforcing not only the A pillars, basically the windshield frame, and the windshield itself has to be upgraded. There's a whole lot that goes into reinforcing the frame of a vehicle when you're taking off the roof, which is part of the structural integrity, I guess, of the vehicle. So it was a fantastic conversation. Thanks for contributing, and I enjoy this. If you guys have knowledge, if you have stuff, if you find something that you didn't like my answer because you know something better, not just I don't want to be told what to do, then you should contact me because he's a technician, oddly enough. Just you wouldn't know it from the name, I guess. Master Technician knows some stuff, so share that knowledge. Share it with the rest of us. I haven't been talking about the Discord, but we do have a Discord server if you're interested in jumping onto conversations that continue. Was it Dodge Challengers? Did I misquote that? Was it Dodge Challengers, not Chargers? In any case, Challengers. Okay. See, I don't have a problem being corrected. If there's some correction that needs to be done, let me know. All right. Police serve the government, not the people. Scotty really has issues with the police. All right. Scotty doesn't like the police. It's okay. Please don't spam. I don't really get to read it, but it does annoy some people in the chat. The people who actually want to hear what we have to say and get their questions heard, but it gets really muddy. The water gets muddy when people who just spend time muddying the water. Yeah. Okay. Is removing my muffler illegal? In Ontario it is. I don't know where you are, but in Ontario you must have a muffler, and if you replace it, you have to replace it with a legal one. Good morning, Officer John Allen from Woodstock, Ontario. Hey John, how's it going? Unless you're saying hello to John Allen, and that's different. But I'm assuming you are the John we were talking about. So good morning. We got some silly questions. Let me skip past the spam. What do we got here? Okay. People asking about the Prime Minister, not my department. Emma, good morning. I've seen you here. Thank you to the folks that have been contributing and coming back to our lives and helping us for over a year now. I really appreciate you. I say moderators. We have moderators. Okay. Can I park my motorcycle on the curbs like bicycles? Shaggy B wants to know. And the answer is no. You're not allowed to park motor vehicles on the sidewalk unless there's a specific pad that you're permitted to park in because either it's your property or I don't know how to pronounce your username. But the question is being a police officer stressful? There are certainly less stressful positions available. If you're looking for something that has no stress, policing may not be for you. It is something that is different every day, and it is unplanned, and the routine, other than knowing what time you have to be at work, it can be stressful, absolutely. And there are people who don't deal with it very well, and people who start out dealing with it very well may not after certain events. PTSD is something that tends to be a reality in our job when we see really horrible things. So stress is definitely part of what we do. Let's see here. All right, we covered these things. Let me go back into, see what's going over on Facebook, and lots of action on Facebook. Artie Kingston says, unmarked police cars with dark tint, why is it allowed? Do they take special training? So I can't speak to where you are located or what experience you have in seeing vehicles that are unmarked. Our vehicles are following the rules. You're allowed to have 30% light blockage. We don't generally, like our fleet doesn't have tinted windows for the most part. Some vehicles might. They may have been purchased that way from factory, but they have factory tint, and if the tint is on the windows behind the driver, those can be black, like absolutely opaque. That's legal. The rules are you have to have at least one clear view to the rear by way of mirrors. So if it's the one on your windshield or the one on the left or right of the vehicle, as long as there's one, that's legal. You can't black out the interior of the vehicle so much so that you can't see it for motor vehicles. Now, are there rules or exemptions? I'm not aware of any allowing darker tint, but I'm just going by what the rules say. Okay. Oh, I guess we're talking about exhaust pipes here. Fart Simpson wants to know if it's illegal to download the new Eminem song on Napster or LimeWire. I wonder if those networks are even up anymore. This is you're dating yourself. That's awesome though. I remember when those things happened, when they changed the world. Okay. Why are there so few officers enforcing speed laws at 1 a.m. on the QEW and 403? So, I imagine it's because there's probably few officers working at 1 in the morning on the QEW that are available to do speed enforcement because, A, we can only do one thing at a time. I can only stop someone and respond to a collision. I can do one or the other. So if I'm tied up on a collision, I can't do enforcement. There's only so many officers on the road anywhere. And when you get tied up on calls, you can't do other things. So part of it is, I imagine, staffing, and beyond that, I couldn't tell you. Okay. The same people keep speeding and ignoring stop signs on our street. What can we do? Michelle wants to know. If you are in the city of Toronto, you can simply go onto our website, www.torontopolice.on.ca/core, C-O-R-E, and you can make a complaint there. It's a formal complaint. You put your information in, you tell them where you live, and you can know that those complaints get assigned to officers in divisions, and they are responsible for increasing the response in those areas to accommodate or deal with what's going on. So if we know of a problem area, we'll focus our efforts there when we're doing enforcement. Let's see here. Oh, more questions about the Prime Minister. I got no answers for that. Lots of happy. Well, that was when we were voting. Okay. What car do I drive? A big one. I drive a full-size truck because I'm 6'5". I don't fit into little cars. I wish I did. I can't. I put $100 of gas. I put $100 in my tank. It filled it up halfway. That used to be obviously a full tank, and back in the day when gas was reasonable. Oh, it hurt. It hurt so bad. Yeah, I drive a full-size truck. Yes, I see a lot of messages. Please stop spamming. And yeah, we'll see. Unfortunately, the people who are spamming don't care if we ask them to stop spamming. It's like people who break the law and steal guns. Yeah, I won't go there. Do people get pulled over for loud music? Yes, they can. Unnecessary loud noise is a charge under the Highway Traffic Act. It doesn't matter if the noise is being caused by your stereo, your exhaust pipe, I should say, or your horn. Like if you're just creating noise for no reason, that's a problem. So TPS pays you to have a podcast, basically. No, there's a lot more to it than that. Yesterday, I went to court because I wrote tickets and I had to respond. I'm a police officer, and one of the many things that I do is educate people on traffic. We have people who answer phones at the front desk. We have people who monitor cells when we have prisoners. We have police officers doing different roles. Mine happens to be that of a media relations officer, so I'm in contact with the actual media. We talk to news agencies and reporters, and we have press conferences, and we write plans and operational plans related to traffic safety campaigns. We just finished a motorcycle safety campaign. We're about to start another campaign. Those are things that my office creates, and I'm involved with all of that. We also create all sorts of content for social media and training, both internally and externally. So, I do have this responsibility of being on social media, talking to you, answering your questions, but I do a lot of different stuff. And I hope to keep doing it. It's really great. We're at 575,043. So we've had 40 followers since we started this live today. It's amazing. 3,346,155 likes. I have since I found this, I absolutely love it. I found livecounts.io, and I now have a ticker on my screen at all times, watching it scroll as people follow us. And I just find it mesmerizing. If you look over my shoulder, there is a TV that I've turned on for the first time since I set this background up like a year and a half ago. And I set up, I'm having some difficulty. I can't find the bloody remote for my Apple TV. In any case, I'm going to put the counter there so you'll be able to see over my shoulder what the count is at, because I think it's cool. Okay. No, wait, it's a repeat of the same question. Oh, there's the line. Okay, we're a little behind. Let me scroll forward a bit. Are e-scooters illegal in the city of Toronto streets? Yes, they are. They are absolutely prohibited in the city of Toronto. No parks, no sidewalks, no roads. So they're legal in municipalities that have opted in to the project, or the, what's it called? Pilot. What are the laws on quick release steering wheels? So there's some mixed information here. First off, it's against the law to remove an airbag. And Master Technician was talking about certain Blue Seal mechanics can do things. They can take it out, put a new one in, but it's very expensive to do it legally. I think you need authorization to remove it. It's also dangerous because that's something that can go boom, and it's actually explosive, from my understanding. We detonated some of those at the police college just to understand how dangerous they are. Like if we come across a crash, we have to be very cautious when trying to help people out of a car, because you can have delayed ignition of an airbag. So you can be trying to help someone end up getting injured by the deploying airbag after the collision has occurred, which is one of the reasons why if you've been in a front-end collision, we suggest you get towed. We may even tell you to get towed, because you could be driving and 20 minutes later, kaboom, you have an airbag deploy and then you cause another collision. Okay, so talking about quick release. Most quick release steering wheels are not intended for the road. It'll say it right on the packaging. If it's not intended for the road, it shouldn't be on the road. Then you have to do other things. Like very often those will not have a horn deployment. People have to rewire a separate horn. So there's a number of reasons, but they're generally considered unsafe. And if you were to have one, you could be told that your vehicle is unsafe for the road and you could lose your plates. Okay. Can my 14-year-old sit in the front seat? Yeah, they can. So the deal is that in Ontario, and I can't speak for other provinces, but you must be in a child safety restraint, a child seat, whether it be a booster, a forward-facing or rear-facing, based on what size and weight and age you are. But let's say you're, when can you? Let's start with the basics. When can you sit in a seatbelt without a child seat or a booster? So the law says 8 years old, 80 pounds, or 4'9". Any one of those three allows you to sit without a car seat or booster. Now, that may not be the best thing for you to do. You might actually be better off waiting until you're a little taller if you're 8 years old, but you're petite, or you are very light, because the seatbelt's not made for small people. That's why boosters exist, to make sure that, and car seats exist, is to have the optimal safety. So my children will stay in a booster until they are exceeding the limits of that booster, because I want them to be as safe as I can have them. Because I care about them, I like them. That's like flying around here, fluff. So, the deal is that 14 years old, we say stay in the back seat until 14. So 14 is actually the age at which we would say front seat's okay. Now, it's not a law. You can sit in the front seat at 8, but it's not safe to be in front of those airbags we were just discussing. Yeah, when they go boom, shorter people, smaller people can be injured by the airbag deploying. And airbags, my father didn't realize that airbags work in conjunction with seatbelts. He thought he had airbags and they would just, work instead of seatbelts. It was a very interesting conversation. Like, how long have I been being a traffic person? How do you not know this? Anyway, we got a question here, or a statement. Hey, I just got pulled over on the Gardiner for driving behind an ambulance. The officer who pulled me over gave me a $500 ticket for not moving for an emergency vehicle. Doesn't make sense. Was the ambulance going somewhere with its lights and sirens on, and you were packed in trying to move over or follow them through traffic? Then you deserve the $500 ticket. You need to pull over. You're not supposed to use it as an opportunity to cut through traffic. You pull over and stop. That's what the law says, not pull over, get behind, and follow. Have you ever had a near-death experience while on duty? Actually, yes. Not because of what you might think, but the reason I'm actually in this position, how I found myself My Apple TV turned off, and now I have the blue screen of death behind me. I was in a collision because I was in the motor squad on a motorcycle heading back to the station, and a driver decided to pull out of a parking lot of a gas station into my path. He pulled out in stop traffic, and we met in the middle. I went for a short flight. The takeoff wasn't horrible. The landing sucked. In any case, I was told I was going to lose my leg. I was injured, and I went through what is called a what is it called? Emergency run. So basically, all roads from where I was to the hospital were shut down, so that the ambulance wouldn't have to stop because they were worried I was going to die on the way. So yeah, near-death experience, absolutely. Turns out I got to keep my leg, for anyone who was wondering, but it was a freaky experience, and the last 4 years of recovery have been long and difficult. Okay. If I get a ticket from parking companies like Indigo Park, is it the same from the City of Toronto parking? Do I have to pay? So it depends. If they are writing on behalf of the city because they have taken the course and they are issuing City of Toronto tickets, then it's an enforceable ticket by the city and it would go against your driver's license. If it is a private property ticket issued by a company and not based on anything else, then if you don't pay, they can go after you in small claims or go after you with collections, but it's not going to go against your driver's license as it would if you were being issued a ticket by the City of Toronto. Aaron just walked in. Aaron, we're talking about private property tickets. Do you have to pay them? Oh, she's on the phone. Here I am, just throwing her under the bus. All right. See, I was going to say it was my fault, but no, it's your fault for walking in here. I see. All I do is I either hear your pants or I see your silhouette behind, and I know you're here. Well, you're not wearing the pants. You're wearing shorts. They're less noisy. I will. Question is, here we got a microphone for you now. Erin Urquhart is joining us. She's a parking enforcement officer and media relations officer, and we hang out on a regular basis here.
Our desks are across from each other.
We are close by.
Yes.
So yeah, the question was if I'm going to, let me scroll back and say it was the if I go to an Indigo Park, if I get a ticket from like a private company, Indigo Park, is it the same as a City of Toronto ticket?
No, it's a different entity. So I can't tell you what happens with those tickets because I don't work for them. But it is not a City of Toronto ticket, so you wouldn't get the same sort of interest if you didn't pay it as you would with the city.
My understanding is that small claims, they can sue you, they can take you to small claims, they can...
Yeah, you become a scofflaw on their private property if you continue to park illegally, and they could, tow you and whatnot, from my understanding.
And it may even get into the point of trespass to property. They could maybe, I don't know, now I'm speculating. Okay.
BRB.
Okie dokie. The fun police. I've been accused of being the fun police. My friend graduates from TPS tomorrow. Congratulations to them. They're probably going to be, some of them are going to be coming here. We're going to get some new recruits. And of course, I'm going to probably terrorize them by making them, say hello to you on TikTok, because why wouldn't they become instantly famous on social media? I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to give them the offer to come in and say hello, because I think that'd be cool. Are modified illegal? Modified vehicles, by virtue of being modified from stock, are not inherently illegal. It depends on what those modifications are and if those modifications break the law. That was a very long thing. I use all my air. Okay. What do you think of these tunes? This is different tunes. This is lo-fi.
It's hard. Oh, sorry, my mic's not on. It's hard to hear it.
Oh, should I make it louder? It's like really backgroundy.
It reminds me of like yoga music.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm so chill.
Yeah, I like it. I'm here for it.
Are 4-point harnesses legal in Ontario? You have to have the OEM seatbelt in your car. It's illegal to remove the OEM seatbelt. Master technician was saying something to the effect of it depends. If it's a Blue Seal mechanic, and I'm not down on the details there. But if you remove your OEM and or if you're driving with a seatbelt that is not approved and absolutely street legal and by the book, you still have to wear the OEM seatbelt on top of it, or you're going to get a ticket. And chances are you're going to get a ticket anyway and have to justify it in court. So there's other things to think about if you're involved in a serious collision and you are wearing a harness, whether you're wearing it correctly or not. That's more for a emergency medical responder to cut you out of a vehicle. It's going to take longer. If that vehicle is on fire, that could possibly mean you're going to be more injured. You have to understand that in Toronto or in any city, and especially if you're in rural areas, response times aren't instantaneous. You're not on a racetrack with a pit crew waiting to respond. You're going to be waiting. And if you're on fire, that's going to hurt. The question is, what if I hypothetically hit a kid, but he didn't die? Then you're just going to get charged for assault as opposed to murder or second degree. I don't know. Some of these questions, I know they're for entertainment, so I can read them and know that you're not taking this seriously, because who would ask a police officer that? Yeah. Okay. I don't know who those people are. Questions. People want to know what I think of certain people, but I don't know who those people are. Find more laws, regulations, and rules to make. We need more. Well, unfortunately, people keep breaking rules and doing really silly things. If you look at stunt driving, it was based on the behavior of individuals that promoted new laws to come into effect or the expansion of existing laws. So as people keep pushing the limits as to how stupid they can be, we will be increasing laws. And I say stupid because when people shut down streets to stunt drive in them, I classify that as stupid, and I'll stand up and justify using that word to describe it. Should I fight petty larceny case or just plead guilty? I can't give you any legal advice, nor do we have petty larceny on the books. That's an American charge, I believe. I can't give you any advice. But you should get a lawyer. When will I get my G2? Probably after you take the test, if you pass it. In terms of when will you be able to get a test to book to be able to take the test, like when will you be able to do that? I would suggest taking the opportunity to wake up really, really early every day, go onto the drivetest.ca website every day and see what shows up every day, because there's cancellations, released, new people being hired, new available dates being offered. So if you're eligible to take the test now and you're just waiting until you can find one to book, don't wait until noon or 4 p.m. when everybody else is looking to. It's first come, first serve. You're going to lose out. So check first thing in the morning. I've been told in the middle of the night, it's a great time to check. But good luck to you. Hey, if you want to become a police officer, I forgot to mention this earlier. If you'd like to become a police officer with the Toronto Police Service or any police service, there's steps you got to take. You got to get yourself mentally, physically, and academically ready for the challenge. But if you are ready to go, I want to let you know that we're currently hiring police officers and other positions with the Toronto Police Service. So check out www.torontopolice.on.ca/careers. That's www.torontopolice.on.ca/careers. Apparently you can do tps.ca/careers too, or just go to tps.ca and mill about on our website until you find it. Any way you cut it, there's great information available and ways to get in contact with our employment office and our recruiters. A question is, do you have to be a citizen? No, you do not have to be a citizen. You do have to be a permanent resident though. All the requirements are there. But yeah, that's something that's unique to Canada, I think, because in the United States, you must be a citizen for most states. Certain states allow it. I think like Alaska State Troopers can be Canadian. I think it's because nobody wants to work in Alaska. I don't know. Maybe. Okay. Anything good in the chat?
I'm just scrolling to try and find anything. This is just funny. Someone says, you always sound baked.
I always sound baked?
Yeah, I was like, can confirm. He is not.
Really?
But they just said the tone of your voice. And I'm like, I don't see it. But hey.
I've never noticed that either. Maybe because I sound chill. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's what he was referring to. But anyways, I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, that's a first for me. I'm like the last person that would be baked.
Yeah. Oh, you already answered that. You have to be a citizen. Why are red cars more expensive?
I just read that too.
I was like, are they?
So here's the deal. And I'm certainly not an official, like the end-all be-all person on this topic. However, insurance companies hire actuaries. These are people who are number crunchers, statisticians, and they look at how high a risk or how many times things happen to certain certain vehicle. They're calling for a caretaker.
I was like,
I thought, are we going to shut down the power again? So if their history, if their insurance company has paid out more for red cars, they will charge more for red cars. A double R racing motorcycle tends to get more tickets for speed. They will charge more. More people die or get, into collisions with red cars, they will charge. It's all based on stats, and it's the stats that they determine. So one company might charge more for red, maybe one company has had a different experience, they may charge more for blue. They may be going for shared documents, I don't know. At the end of the day, I investigate the costs of all my options. If I'm shopping I'll ask for multiple things. Now, I don't know if red cars truly, Master Technician says, red cars, I have the answer. What's the answer? I want to know, because that was my understanding, but I want to know if I. Then he says no. Did I miss something?
No, he's responding to someone else in the chat who was actually asking, is it appropriate for a citizen to remind an officer on a bicycle that they should be stopping at stop signs and red lights? And I'm like, I don't think that's not appropriate.
It may not be a good idea, but I do think it's appropriate. No one should be breaking the law, including police officers, and police officers do have to stop for red lights and stop signs on bicycles. And I might get some hate for telling police officers that they need to follow those laws too, but they do. And it's just the rules. There's no exemption. Police officers are allowed to do very few things that are not outside of that, outside of the norm. Like we're allowed to use our cell phones, our handheld communication, our two-way radios, and our laptops in vehicles. That's an exemption under the Highway Traffic Act for, distracted driving. And there's good reason, because we're going to calls, we need vital information that is safety-based, whether it be for the person we're responding to or to keep ourselves safe when we get there, things that are urgent. Can't always be put over the air. That's one. Speed, we're allowed to exceed the speed limit. And we're allowed to go through intersections that are red by using our full emergency lighting system and siren. But that's about it. We still have to stop for stop signs. And I know people who have been documented, police officers responding to a call, who were caught going through stop signs because they got the adrenaline's going, and they have gone through a stop sign without coming to a stop, and they were documented and lost 4 hours pay for rolling through a stop. So it is enforced.
It happens to us too, actually. If parking officers get caught in a parking car going through like a red light camera, we actually get suspended for a day. So we lose a full day's pay. And we get in trouble for the no-nos too.
Oh, there's no getting away from it. And you know what? We are the most scrutinized profession on the planet. I don't care if you're a doctor or a lawyer. There are more people looking at what we do than anybody else. Partially because we have lights and sirens and cars that say what we are from, you can see us from the moon and we do know who we are. And if we break a rule, we're held accountable. There was a question there was a response about insurance, and the statement was, we don't know what color or VIN year marker and loss ratio is your rate. Am I reading that right, Brian? So there's a suggestion that they may not know the color. I was led astray, maybe. But in any case, they come up with their own rates based on their information, and apparently color doesn't factor into it. Interesting. Oh well, I have to get our friend from the insurance. He's an insurance adjuster. I'm going to get him back on the show. We used to have him on here all the time, so I want to do that. As a volunteer firefighter, am I allowed to speed on my way to a call? So are you talking about on your personal vehicle with a green light flashing? No, you're not. You are not permitted to exceed the speed limit in your personal vehicle with a green flashing light. Doesn't give you any authority. It is the only thing you get is that it's a request. But the deal is that it's a courtesy. When people see a green flashing light in the rearview mirror, they're to pull over because you're going to go help people, but you're not allowed to speed and you're not allowed to run lights. Okay. What is this?
Emma had to leave, so we're just saying.
Oh, right on. I'm getting. I'm advised that it's 11 o'clock and it's time. I want to pick one more question, and my Ring doorbell is going bananas right now. I'm not at home, but my Ring doorbell is going bananas. Okay. Is Toronto Police hiring new constable recruits right now? Yes, they are, Jeffrey. Check out www.torontopolice.on.ca/careers. Check it out now. We are taking applications. We're looking for good folks who want to wear this uniform and go help people. If that's you, then you're in the right place. Okay, I gotta call it a day. Oh yeah. It's been a slice. We'll be back tomorrow for Friday, and lots of fun stuff to come there. We also have some announcements. We have a press conference in the morning. It's going to be a busy day.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff to talk about. So
Dave.
until then, you have a wonderful day. Stay safe. If you're going to drive sober. No drugs, no alcohol. If you're going to drive, please don't speed. Please follow the rules of the road. Think about other people. I recently had a fantastic conversation with my friend John. I mentioned it earlier, and I said, you know what? If you're out driving and you're thinking about breaking the law, you're thinking about speeding, consider or picture having everybody else in every other vehicle, people you love, and don't put them at risk. All right. Have a good one.
Have a good day.